Hello learners, welcome to the video lesson. Today we are going to discuss another topic, that is National Curriculum Framework NCF 2005. We will discuss about NCF 2005 and at the same time we will also focus some of the important aspect of NCFTE 2009, that is National Curriculum Framework for Teacher Education, which is developed by the NCTE, National Council for Teacher Education in 2009. Before starting our discussion, let me to introduce myself. I, Dr. Niradhar, Associate Professor, School of Education, Indira Gandhi National Open University. Welcome you all to this video lesson. This topic has been taken from your 8th module, that is the 8th unit, which is included in the 8th week of your online course. Title of the module or the unit is Development of School Education in 1986 and After. In this module, 3 important lessons are there. They are like National Policy on Education NPE 1986 and a National Education Policy NEP 2020. We have already discussed the recommendations of NPE and a critical analysis, critical discussion of National Policy on Education 1986 and further the recent development, that is the National Education Policy NEP 2020. We have discussed the fundamental principles including recommendations in different areas of NEP 2020 and its critical analysis. We have already completed the first video lesson of this module, and the second lesson, that is on NKC, National Knowledge Commission 2006 to 2009. In NKC also we have discussed the recommendations for school education, for higher education, for teacher education, then expansion of education by increasing the institution, the universities across the country. That also we have discussed. That's the second video lesson of this module. And the third lesson, that is National Curriculum Framework NCF 2005, which is developed by the NCERT, and the National Curriculum Framework for Teacher Education as per the NCF 2005, which is developed by NCTE, National Council for Teacher Education, that is in 2009. So now in this lesson we are going to discuss the very principles and the recommendations of NCF 2005 as well as the NCFTE 2009. Let us go forward to focus upon some of the important learning outcomes of this lesson. I am very much hopeful that after watching this video lesson and after going through the part E content which is given in this module, that is there in your online course, you will be able to achieve these learning outcomes, just like you will be able to discuss the guiding principles of National Curriculum Framework NCF 2005, where the fundamental principles or the guiding principles basing upon which the entire NCF has been developed and further that has been implemented across the country, that we will discuss. Then the second important learning outcome, that is you will be able to critically analyze the recommendations of National Curriculum Framework 2005. So after going through the recommendation, you will be able to understand it and you will be able to put your reflection on this NCF 2005. And another learning outcome from this lesson, that is the lesson will help you to discuss the major focus of National Curriculum Framework for Teacher Education NCFTE 2009, which is developed by NCTE. Now let us go forward to understand the first concern, that is the guiding principle of National Curriculum Framework, that's called as the NCF 2005. So here let me to focus upon 4 different guiding principles of National Curriculum Framework. First is connecting knowledge to life outside the school. So friends, our education system, our curriculum and the teaching learning process that we impart in our school. So what it should do? It should connect the knowledge of the learners, or the knowledge should be connected with the life that the learners get from outside the school system. Friends, so far as the constructivist approach of teaching and learning process is concerned, constructivist approach of constructing one's one experience and one knowledge is concerned, we understand that the knowledge that we receive, the experiences that we get from the formal system of education, or you can say from the schooling system, we understand that much knowledge that we can gain, much knowledge that the students can gain from outside the school system. So that's why in NCF 2005, this has been emphasized that how to connect knowledge of the learners, or how to connect life of the learners outside the school system, not only the school system. Definitely there is a prominent role of school for imparting knowledge, for providing learning experiences to the learners, to the students. But at the same time, they can gain many learning experiences when they will come contact with their environment, when they will come contact in different, you can say, interactions in the family, in the society, in the community, with the peers and with the groups, in the playground, in the library, and in other social institutions. So there is the opportunity to gain much knowledge. So that's why how to connect the life of the learners outside the school system is one of the guiding principles. Then the other guiding principle is shifting learning away from rote learning. And friends, you see in NEP 2020 also, this has been highlighted that rote learning should not be emphasized, and the learners should not involve themselves for developing or for getting certain information by developing the rote method. Rather, they should involve themselves, they should involve in comprehending the things. The learners should involve in understanding the very concept, the very theorization and very application of certain concept, of certain content that is included in the curriculum, in the syllabi. So that's why this is also another guiding principle, that how to shift learning away from the rote method of the learners, that what the learners usually do during the examination, or what they believe that if they will practice few questions, if they will practice answers of few selected questions, they can do better in the examination. But it is not a fact, it is not the true. Rather, unless you understand the skills and competencies, the minimum knowledge and the minimum skills that one should achieve from a particular level of education, then you can say that you have achieved the very purpose, the very aim, or the very competencies that is, you can say, integrated, that is involved in that program. And the third guiding principle of NCF 2005 is enriching curriculum to go beyond the textbook. So friends, definitely at the school education, the government provides textbooks to the students, but at the same time, how we should develop our education system, how we will develop our curriculum or the entire school environment, so that the learners will not only involve in textbook related discourses, rather how to help them to understand the wider society, to understand the wider environment, to understand what is happening beyond the classrooms also, and at the same time how to provide scope to the learners to go through, or to you can say explore and read other learning resources also. Textbook is just only one learning resource. Apart from textbook, many other learning resources are there. So how to ensure that or how to help, how to facilitate the learners that apart from the textbook, how they will go through other learning resources, other learning materials. And another guiding principle is making examination flexible and integrating with classroom. It means in NCF 2005, this has been focused that how authentic assessment practices can be practiced in the school system, and how to emphasize on the internal examination system, observation based assessment system, so that in the classroom during the teaching learning process, teacher can observe the students that what they are really doing, and accordingly some part of assessment can also be done for their certification. So these are the four different guiding principles so far as National Curriculum Framework NCF 2005 is concerned. Now let me to proceed certain important recommendations of NCF 2005. Let me to focus upon the first point, that is learning and knowledge. In learning and knowledge, let me to focus upon certain point, just like learning should be made an enjoyable activity. NCF says that learning should be an enjoyable activity in the school. The learners, the students who are coming to the school, they should learn, they should understand the concept in a very joyful way, in a very enjoyable way, in a very activity oriented way. When they will do certain things, when they will involve in varieties of activities, they will enjoy the task, and at the same time they will also learn as per the syllabi. And further, school should be designed to make a satisfactory place for students to feel secure and valued. Try to understand what type of school environment should be established for the learners. Our school environment should be secure one, should be enjoyable one, and it should inspire the learners to involve in the process of teaching and learning, in the process of doing the activities, and in the process of acquiring more knowledge and experiences. And further, curriculum should enhance holistic development of the individual. What do you mean by holistic development? So we call it is holistic development when all-round development, or when there is the scope for all-round development of the learners from the school system, from the education system. That includes the intellectual development, social development, emotional development, physical development. So how will design such a curriculum, and that curriculum will help the schooling system, will help the learners for their all-round development, for their total development, and for their holistic development. Development is not only, a proper development is not only in one side, in one aspect, rather development should be happened, development should be done in all aspects of learners involvement. And further, prioritizing inclusive education is also another important aspect. We are not talking exclusion. Today, at this time, we are talking about inclusion. Many a time you will find that a group of learners who are not up to the mark of, you can say, the general students, the common students. There may be certain a type of disabilities, you can say that is the differently able. So how to address the need of the differently able, the strength of the differently able children, so far as in the inclusive setting of school is concerned. So that's why we have to do varieties of activities. We have to do the activities which is at the interest and which is at the capabilities of the capacity of the aptitude and of the interest of that group of the learners. So that's why we should understand the inclusive system of education. Then accordingly, we should provide learning experiences to the learners, and further use of constructivist approach of learning as part of the curriculum. Encourage individual to show creativity, develop problem solving approach, and actively participate in the society. So here how our curriculum is engaging the learner so far as constructing their new knowledge is concerned, and at the same time how our curriculum is providing scope to the learners to work with their creativity, to work with their aptitude. So these are the certain important things which is based upon the learning and knowledge as per the recommendations of NCF 2005. And now let me to focus upon very briefly about the language aspect. To develop speaking, listening, reading, and writing skills among the learners across the school subjects. So here you see, when I talk about language, I am just focusing upon certain key skills, language-based key skills, that may be speaking, whether the learners are able to speak or not, able to listen or not, able to read the text or not. It may be mathematics-based text, it may be science-based text, it may be social science-based text or language-based text, and whether the learners are able to write. So unless we develop these four inherited or four important skills, we cannot say that there is the development of language. So that's why NCF 2005 give importance upon language development of the child. The role of children's construction of knowledge right from elementary to senior secondary class is also focused here so far as the language development is concerned. Then implementing three language formula by emphasizing children's home language, that's the mother tongue, as the best medium of instruction. NEP 2020 also equally focused upon that, how to make our education system, so far as school education is concerned, that should be based upon the mother tongue, or you can say the local language of the learner. And NCF 2005 has also emphasized to making teaching learning process to provide instruction to the learners as per their mother tongue. Then at the same time, English needs to be find its place along with other Indian languages. You are studying other Indian languages in the three language formula. Accordingly, English language should also be practiced, should also be implemented in the school system, so that the learners can understand mother tongue, at the same time the global language. Then recommendations of NCF 2005 particularly based upon the subjects. Now let me to focus upon mathematics. Mathematics is based upon certain skills of computing the things, calculating the things that we very much use in our day-to-day life. So merely knowledge of mathematics is not the main goal of teaching mathematics. Rather, teaching of mathematics should enhance children's ability to think and reason. So whether reasoning we are developing or the children are developing the reasoning abilities or not. So whether they are able to think abstractly or not for solving or for doing certain mathematical solution, they're supposed to develop the reasoning abilities, and to visualize and handle abstractions, and to formulate and solve problems, whether they are able to develop the abstract thinking or not. Again, relating to mathematics, NCF says that it should access to quality mathematics education is the right of every child. So in the you can say school system, two things are that has been observed. One is the mathematics and other is the languages. So the learners, the students in the school system, they should gain the very right knowledge of the mathematics, and at the same time skills of language also. So far as science is concerned, NCF says that science teaching must be commensurate with the learner's age range and cognitive reach. So the curriculum should be as per the level of the learners, the range of the learners, and at the same time the cognitive level of the learners. Then science teaching should engage the learners in nurturing their curiosity and creativity. So science is very much based upon the attitude, based upon creativity and curiosity, and it inspires the learners, it motivates the learner to do or to create certain new things. So that's why science teaching should be based upon curiosity and creativity. Teachers should nurture the child for developing their curiosity, and when curiosity is coming, when certain questions are coming, teachers should satisfy the curiosity of the learners. And awareness of environmental concerns must be integrated in the entire school curriculum. So environmental concerns should be integrated with the curriculum across the subjects, but at the same time when we talk about science, then we cannot think science without environment. Okay, so all the science-based discourses are happened in the environment. So that's why environmental awareness, and our concerns about to save our environment should also be integrated part of science teaching. And so far as social science is concerned, NCF says that social science content needs to focus on conceptual understanding rather than learning of facts to be memorized for examination. Social science is very much related with, linked with the community, with the society, with the environment, with our living. So that's why when we talk about social science, the learners, they shouldn't prepare themselves only for the examination, rather they should understand the very social norm, they should understand the diversity, they should understand you can say our culture, our tradition, our social living, and how social transformation, how social preservation and social mobility is happening in the society. And further, social science should equip children with the ability to think independently and reflect critically on social issues. So, science knowledge should help the learners for critical reflection on science-based ideas, science-based issues, science-based knowledge. And here in social science, teaching of social science should help the learners to develop certain critical reflection about different social issues of our society, and interdisciplinary approaches to be used to promote gender, justice, human rights, and sensitivity towards marginalized. So try to understand how to address the issues of gender, issues of justice, equity and equality, and human rights, how to address it through our curriculum. So that should be emphasized. And further, civics should be recast as political science. So here no dependent subject should be there in civics, rather how to conceptualize civic science in study of political science was emphasized. And history should be used to influence children's conception of the past, and civic identity should be recognized. History shouldn't limit the child to understand only the past, rather how the child will develop critical understanding by going through the past event, and how the future and the present time can be shaped. So history should be taught in such objective. Then the other areas of knowledge apart from the core courses, just like work, peace, then health education. So how to address it also, the NCF has also given its recommendation. Just like school curricula from the pre-primary stage to the senior secondary stage need to be reconstructed to realize the pedagogic potential of work as a pedagogic medium of knowledge acquisition, developing values, and multiple skill formation. Try to understand how to integrate work so far as teaching learning process is concerned, so far as the syllabus is concerned. Then how to integrate art also, folk and classical forms of music and dance, visual arts, puppetry, clay work, theatre work, heritage crafts should be recognized as integral components of the school curriculum. So how to do it? Definitely we do it in our school system, but now there is the time that how to implement it in a true sense. The awareness to personal, social, economic and aesthetic needs should be built among the parents, school authorities and administrators, and further art should comprise a subject at every stage of school education. So it may be at the foundational stage or at the preparatory or at the middle or at the secondary stage. So how to integrate art in the curriculum at every stage of education, that NCF has given importance. Then peace education, peace-oriented values should be promoted in all subjects throughout the school years with the help of relevant activities. Peace education should form a component of teacher education. So friends, peace is not only a part of school education, even if in teacher preparation, so far as different teacher education program is concerned, how to include peace, because I think it is the need of the time that the learners, the students, they should train themselves to acquire peace and to practice peace so far as their social life is concerned, so far as their professional life is concerned. Now, next important recommendation so far as other areas of knowledge is concerned in NCF 2005, that is yoga, health and physical education. So, how to make yoga practices, health education and physical education as an integral part of teaching and learning process at all stages of school education. Yoga and health education are very important for overall development of the learners. Okay, this is not only for intellectual development of the knowledge, rather for the holistic development of the child, yoga and development of health education is very much important. Then the issues of enrollment, retention and completion of school is possible through health and physical education program including yoga. So friends, when the learners will engage themselves in practicing yoga and health, definitely its reflection, its impact will be felt so far as in increasing their enrollment is concerned, their retention and completion of school program is concerned. Next important is the habitat and learning. So this is also another recommendation that the environmental education must be best pursued by infusing the issues and concerns of the environment into teaching different disciplines at all levels, and to more focus upon school and classroom environment. So how to establish a very conducive school and classroom environment so that a better teaching learning process system can be established. So particularly if I will focus these points, I can also mention here, that is availability of minimum infrastructure and material facilities, varieties of activities for inclusive learning and schools, practicing self-discipline and democratic functioning, partnership between school and community, learning resources for reflective thinking and group work, decentralizing planning of school curriculum, and at the same time autonomy for the teachers for professional development. So friends, the school environment where a rigorous teaching learning process are proceed, so how to create it child friendly as well as per the need, interest, aptitude and creativity of the learners. That is also another focus reflected by NCF 2005, and certain systemic reforms that NCF has highlighted. I am just going through it very briefly. Evolving common school system to ensure comparable quality in different regions of the country, then improving the overall quality of learning and enriching school ethos, reformulating teacher education program, teacher as a facilitator of knowledge construction, then multidisciplinary nature of knowledge of teacher education, that is also equally focused in the NEP 2020 National Education Policy 2020, then integration of theory and practice in all stages and forms of curriculum irrespective of the subjects, then engagement with issues and concerns of contemporary Indian society from a very critical perspective. And now let me to focus upon very briefly few important focus point of National Curriculum Framework for Teacher Education 2009, which is developed by NCTE. NCFTE acknowledges the diversity of learning space and curriculum sites apart from the classroom. So how to address the diversities of learning in a teacher education program. Then pedagogical knowledge should address diverse context through critical reflection by the teacher of individual practices, making pre-service, in-service and continuing professional development of the teachers as inseparable part, and shifting towards the use of critically pedagogy was also suggested. And to integrate theory and practice in the subject in curriculum was also emphasized. Observation, storytelling, analysis, critical inquiry, self-learning, reflection on practices, linking practices to concepts, etc. are to be highlighted. So how to use varieties of techniques and methods so far as teaching learning process in a teacher preparation program is concerned. So that should include the observation, storytelling, analysis, experimentation even, critical inquiry, self-reflection and reflection on practices should be implemented. The need for enhancing language competence and communication skills. Emphasis has also been given on teacher as a reflective practitioner. Unless the teacher is a reflective practitioner, then the learners cannot be created who are reflective practitioner. Then both qualitative and quantitative evaluation and measurement procedure are to be highlighted. Modern teaching approaches such as constructivism, comprehensive learning, contextual pedagogy and ICT integration needs to be highlighted so far as teacher education program is concerned. So friends, now let me to focus upon some of the important practice questions. It may help you for your exam preparation, and it may help you for to answer the question in a better way. The questions are just like: discuss the guiding principles of National Curriculum Framework NCF 2005, then critically analyze and critically reflect upon the recommendations of NCF 2005, and discuss the major focus of National Curriculum Framework for Teacher Education NCF 2009. So friends, in this lesson we have discussed about the NCF 2005 as well as the NCFTE 2009, and in our next session we will be discussing other aspects of your course.